Hey, welcome back. Today is a little bit of a different video where we are going to talk about balloons gone wrong. So, this is the first, and what I hope is like a series where we can talk about something that has not gone to plan. Maybe a horror story, maybe just a little bit of a lesson learned, so that we can like get it off our chest, vent, and also learn from each other. Because whenever I have a balloons gone wrong situation, I'm always like, at least I learned a lesson. So let's learn each other's lessons. I'm going to start by telling you one of my horror stories, but my hope is that we can share each other's stories. And if you would like to share a story, please comment below and let me know if you would be interested in either writing in a story that I would read, or if you want to send me a voice note with your story, or however you want to do it. I don't know. I'm just like have some ideas here. So, I'm in my closet because I feel like that's the place where we should talk about horror stories. And I'm also wearing my cozy, comfy, like robe blanket because that's what I need while telling a horror story and listening to them. So this is where we're going to be. All right. Without further ado, let's talk about my most recent horror story. So this was for a graduation party and it had been booked months in advance. So it was booked before I was using my pricing formula, which you may or may not be familiar with. If you're not, go check my channel because that's been very helpful for me not to do this exact thing that I'm about to tell you about. And when the client reached out to me, she showed me some inspo pics straight from Amazon, of course, and really didn't know where she wanted it or anything else. She was like, I think I want it outside. And I gave her the standard like balloons and don't like wind and sun. So, there's that. And, light colors is better and we'll do our best kind of thing. Um, like, let's just start like ding whenever we like notice a mistake here. So there's our first one. Ding is that like that's all that I said about the wind and the sun. So she then like we went back and forth about like a design and that sort of thing. I gave her a quote on what we had kind of settled on and she asked for me to lower it and I did. Um I wish that I hadn't. Not only did I lower it, but I also then offered to add on marquee numbers for not even half the price. I added on 2 marquee numbers, which like a pretty standard going rate is at least 65 a piece. If not, I actually do 75 now. I offered for her to have them for $50 and I offered for her to have 2 for the price of 1. So instead of getting $130 to $150 out of those marquee letters, I got $50 out of them. And I brought down the price of the garland. So I gave her a really good deal. Then, as the day got closer, she asked me to change the design. She was worried about there being too much background visible through the design that we had chosen, and she wanted to like cover up more space, which is hard to do with a low budget to start with. I did my best, and I like gave her some ideas, and she picked one, and it honestly already resulted in me doing more than the original design, like it just did, and I didn't charge her more for it. Then when the day came, but she really hadn't chosen a spot yet. So we walked around her yard and kind of chose a spot together. And it was a very windy day. It was also very hot and very sunny. And I was like, I mean, I think I'd worry a little bit more about the sun than the wind, which was wrong. No, the wind was far more of a problem because I was working with quality balloons. Like they would have lasted just fine through the sun. They did last fine through the sun. The wind was the problem. I brought stakes to put over my stand, but it wasn't enough. I didn't bring weights and I needed weights, big time weights. I started to put it up and like within minutes, like 10, 15, 20 minutes after I got some balloons on the stand, I could just tell the thing was swaying. So I had to move it. And she had like this big, like 3 foot deep mulch bed all around her house that she didn't want them in. And I was like, I'm sorry, we're going to have to go in the mulch bed because I needed to get it up close to the house because the house was the only thing that I could think of to protect it. Even if I had brought weights, like I'm not sure it would have helped enough because the bottom would have been stable, but the top still would have been swaying back and forth. It needed to be anchored to something high up, which is what I ended up doing on the house. I ended up like H method taping some 260s to the house and then tying those to the stand. So I was able to anchor it to the house, but in doing so was like crawling all around in the mulch, sweating. Um, Another thing was as I was doing this, she was like, I'm looking forward to seeing the greenery in it. And I was like, you didn't want greenery. Like in my head, I like really specifically remembered because I love putting florals and greenery in balloons. And like I really wanted to with this, but I kept telling myself, like, no, we talked about it. And she specifically said she didn't want florals. And she was like, yeah, I didn't want florals, flowers, but I wanted greenery. And like I didn't even go back and look because I know she's right. I know that I missed that detail. So there's another like mistake that I made. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I do remember that you said you wanted the greenery." And I was like, at this point, this whole wind stuff hadn't been happening yet. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, I live like 10 minutes from here. I'll finish getting this up and then I'll run back, get some greenery, and I'll come put it back in. I had plenty of time. And she was like, that's fine. Well, then, like the whole wind, mulch, moving it around, all of this situation, I like it took me so long. I'm like I said, crawling around on this mulch bed, sweating my butt off. Um, and then I also didn't have the right equipment to weigh down my marquees, like to get them really well stable in the ground. Like this is all like on me. Like the client, she didn't want to spend any money, but beyond that, all of these mistakes were my mistakes. I didn't bring the stuff to properly secure my backdrop or my marquee numbers. And so I ended up having to secure the marquee numbers to the stand, which was secured to the house. I secured one of the marquee numbers to the stand, and then the other one I like staggered, and then I secured that to the house as well. And they did stay up, but they were on this uneven ground mulch bed, so they weren't, like, nice and perfectly straight. So, like, that was also my mistake. So after all of this, I'm filthy, sweating, frustrated, like praying that this doesn't come down. Because even though I've got it secured to the house, like, my duct tape isn't sticking because it's so stinking hot out, and I'm just like, "Please let this stay." And I finish at, like, her party was at 4 o'clock, and I finish at, like, 3:53, and I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to go home and get the greenery." I was like, I will go get it if you want me to. I'll go get it and I'll bring it back. But like, I'm going to be installing it when your party has already started." And she was like, "It's fine. Don't worry about it." And she was nice, but I could tell she was disappointed. So, I went home and I ended up messaging her and I was like, "Hey, I just want to apologize again about the greenery. I want to offer you a $25 refund." And she was like, "Okay, thanks." I mean, she was nicer about it than that. She was like, "Okay, that's so nice. Thank you," or something like that. And that was it. Like she and then I was like, "Here's your balance, and, like, with the 25 off, here's what you still owe me." And she took 25 off of that and then paid me that. And I was like, it was already not enough. It was already just so not enough. And then I was like, "I'm sorry, you still owe me $25." And she sent it. But it really didn't feel good. I didn't charge her appropriately. I didn't warn her appropriately of what to expect in the wind and the sun. I didn't charge for an outdoor setup, and I should have. I didn't bring proper materials to secure my backdrop and to secure my marquee numbers. I forgot. I didn't go back through my communication with her to double check what she wanted, and I like forgot that she wanted greenery. Um, and I didn't leave myself. I mean, I barely left myself enough time to get it done. And then I offered a refund when I don't know. I still don't know if that was the right move. It felt right. Like it just made me feel better. She didn't ask for a refund, but it made me feel better. But I could have gotten away without it because I doubt she hires me again. So anyway, it didn't feel good. And I still like think about it sometimes and get like an icky feeling. And that is my horror story to share with you tonight. Here is the setup, by the way. Here's what we ended up with. And she sent me a picture of it later that night when it was dark and the lights were on. So this is her picture. And I wish that I could like make it better quality, but this is the one that she sent me. It's okay. I'm so like, I'm mostly frustrated about how, like the end result, I'm mostly frustrated about how crooked the numbers are because I didn't have anywhere else to secure them. So big bummer there. And like, I mean, lessons learned, right? But I don't have like a happy ending there where it's like, oh, but I got this figured out. Well, like, no, I'm just going to hopefully fix it next time and do better next time. So, I'd say the biggest lesson that I took out of this though is, well, there's two. One, like, don't play with outdoor setups. Like, be prepared. Um, I've done outdoor setups before, but this one like I wasn't prepared for it. And two is I am personally going to start charging a premium for outdoor setups to help with all of the extra care that does have to be taken to get them secure. Like it takes a lot. Oh, by the way, the wind was so bad that day, and this was like I was almost done. So I had everything secured, like to the house and everything. They had a DJ under like a standard like 10-foot by 10-foot canopy that had been staked into the ground with big stakes that blew over. It almost hit me actually. It literally blew out of the ground and toppled like across the yard. And in that same gust of wind, my balloons didn't move. And I was like, well, I must have managed this, but I was not. I was still not prepared. So anyway, okay. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned some lessons. Like vicariously through me so you don't have to learn them the hard way too. And if you would like to participate in this, I would love for you to. I can't make these all my horror stories. I mean, I have a few more that I could share, but I would love to like it's a little emotionally difficult to relive these. So if you have some trauma that you would like to share with us, please comment below. Like I said, I'm happy to like read them out loud, or if we, I mean, we could do this like interview style. I don't know. I'm like excited at the idea of this because I feel like this is just something we could listen to while we're like blowing up some balloons and just need to like zone out and feel better about our lives because somebody else's day sucked more. So I hope that this takes off, and I will be back here, and this isn't going anywhere. This is